Welcome back to the Queen A.K.A. Misty Show. I am your host, Queen A.K.A. Misty. And before the break, I was telling you that I died and I came back, but life was different. Now, I rehabbed a lot from the stroke that I had on the table from the heart attack. I want you to know I had a heart attack 3 times, had a stroke, and then I died. And I'm sitting here in front of you just thankful. That is God. If you are on the fence about believing in God, I am a living witness. I am here telling you that I left this earth and came back, and the message I got from that, for me, is just for me. You can't go too far where God can't reach you. I was gone, and He still snatched me back. And you're never too far for His arms to not reach you. You can't be too low for Him not to bring you back. So if you are having a hard time with a substance abuse and you think it's over, I don't care how deep you're into it. If you call on Jesus, He will come and get you. I don't care how far you are. His arms are that long to reach you. And I wanted to get that point across. I'm not going to preach to you. I'm just telling you my experience. I don't go, oh Lord, she's going to church. I'm back. I'm here. When I woke up from dying, I said everything was different. Everything that happened during the stroke was amplified. Everything that I did during therapy was gone. My speech was worse. I could not talk like this before. My arm, which is we're still working on my arm. My arm is painful, and I don't know how to describe it. Painful is not a good word because my arm is triple the word painful. I'm sorry, I can't find the word to say, but it is horrific pain I go through every day right now. And I know that I had a stroke and I should not be trying to say big words, but if I can get it out, I try. My left arm is messed up. They are working on it. They're trying to, I'm going to take an MRI and find out if they can get to the bottom of what they can do for my arm. But when I woke up, my arm was 10 times worse. That has not been fixed yet. My left leg would not move. My brain I was talking to my left leg constantly, telling it to move, and it would not move. And I'm like, I don't understand why it won't move. This is something elementary. You tell, like my hand, I tell my hand to move, it moves. I tell my leg to move, it stays still. And as the days went by, the pain in my left leg was horrific. So they decided to try to get me up. When I got up and tried to walk or hop, they put me on crutches or walker, and I tried to hop. The rest of my body was in convulsions. I'll put it to you like this. If you did not know me or know what I went through, you would just say, Parkinson's. She has Parkinson's. My entire body was not listening to me. I could not talk to it. It was just breakdancing all over the place. And every time I took 2 steps, I broke down and cried. I could not believe this was me. This was my body. It was my body, but my body wasn't paying me any mind. And I could not walk to the point where I'm sorry. This was a horrible thing to go through. The only way that this place could get, the rehab place would get me to stand up was on a harness. That's the only time I left the wheelchair to 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 uh, to stand up on my feet would be in a harness that was, it was hooked up to a machine. And I took pictures. I had them take me pictures because I couldn't believe I was standing straight up and not in a wheelchair. I said I was not going to do any retakes, and I'm not. If I cry, I cry, If I know people were sick of Oprah crying, but hey, I'm just starting. So, yeah, my body was like I had Parkinson's, and they had to give me electroshocks to see if they can get the nerves in my body to respond. And it was a lot of hard work. 7 days a week of therapy. And they did it. I went from the harness to wearing a knapsack full of weights on my back, weights on my arm because they would not respond to me, so they kept shaking. I can have Parkinson's. And then weights on my legs. This is what I did every day. This is how they would get me to try to walk. Just weights everywhere. And that was my world for a while. And now, wheelchairs behind me, walkers over there, canes over there. I still need these devices to get around. But I'm not shaking anymore. I use the wheelchair when I leave the house because the house is too small for the wheelchair. So I get around with the walker slowly. I have therapy to help me get around with the walker, but that's my life right now. I think I'm doing a lot better. I just had an MRI of my brain and my spine so they can find out if there is something called better for me, or is the damage permanent? Because it seems like I leveled off. I've gotten better from the effects of the stroke and of they call it congestive heart failure, and that's what I had. And it's like drowning in your own fluids. And they said pink fluid was coming out of my mouth because that's what I felt when I couldn't breathe. It was just coming up and coming up. And when I went to the heart doctor, the cardiologist, he told me, he said, when you heard the rattling in your chest, that was game over. And when he said the words, game over, I just busted out in tears. But he said you could have had symptoms prior to that that would have saved you from dying in that manner, or dying period. Because I told my family, or the people here, if that ever happens to me again, that rattling happens, shoot me, because I do not want to die like that again. It is a horrible, horrible way to die. I want it over quickly. I do not want to suffer through that, but I know that they say God will never put on you more than you can bear. So I know I said that, but it's rough. It's rough, and there are signs before you have congestive heart failure. And before we go on to another show, I just want to go over those signs to make sure you know them. And we'll do that after the break. One moment. Be right back.